Hey, it's Scotty and Gabby and Poppy. We are super excited to help you guys that have never been on a cruise before understand a little bit about what to expect. We consider ourselves cruise experts. We've been on about 10 cruises, so this will probably be our 11th that we're going to go on in about 10 days. So, a little bit of stuff to know prior to going on your cruise. We feel it's important to get your flight or your travel arrangements so that you get there a whole day prior. We stay at a hotel, and that's so in case you have a problem with your flight or you're delayed, we don't want you missing the boat. So by showing up late on your airplane, so nobody's got time for that kind of stress. So you want to make sure you plan like that before you need to go check in at your online. And what will happen there is you put all your passport information. You do need to travel outside of the country on a cruise ship. You don't necessarily need a passport, but I recommend that you get one. But if you don't have a passport, you can use a birth certificate as far as cruising goes. To get off the boat, go into the country or the island, and then come back on. You can use one of those two things. So make sure that you pack that with you. Do not forget that. And then once you fill out all that information online and you make sure that you pack that in your bag, you have to print out what's called a set sail pass, and you need that to board. To go through the embarkation boarding process, you need to have that in your, you have to have that done before, and you print it out. It's called the set sail pass. You can also print out or need to print out your luggage tags if you're packing luggage that you are going to have checked into your room. So what you do is when you arrive at the port to get checked in, you leave your luggage with the pre-printed luggage tags on there, and those luggage tags, they then take your luggage and they set it inside the boat right outside your room so you can go pick it up later. Usually takes well into the late afternoon, evening for your luggage to arrive at your door. We personally,
Yeah, so with the
what do
luggage,
we do?
it takes forever to get, and also like when you leave. So say your cruise ends on Saturday, you have to set it out the night before on Friday. So what we've always done is we've just done like backpacks and a carry-on, so that we can keep our luggage with us. It's easy to go in and out of the boat. We can hop on and just get our swimsuits on and go straight to the pool, and or straight to go get food or whatever.
The
We don't.
buffet.
Yeah, so we just keep it simple and pack light.
Yeah, so it's, you can totally, and I'll make a video packing how I pack my carry-on suitcase and my backpack. But that's all we take. Both of us take that. Literally, if it's a Caribbean cruise, you basically just need a light sweatshirt. So I'm usually wearing a hoodie because we come from Idaho anyway. So I bring that. Bring some t-shirts, tank tops, board shorts, workout shorts, your underwear, your socks, one pair of running or walking shoes, and flip-flops. And that's literally like all you need aside from your toiletries bag. So you can fit that in a backpack, in a carry-on, so easy. And then one thing to know about cruise, if it's over 3 days, there's usually a formal night or sometimes two. So for a formal night, what I wear, I just wear some slacks, so some nice pants, a white shirt, a tie, and a vest. So that takes up very little room. And what do you take for a formal night? What do you suggest, or what are options?
During the days, mostly just like shorts, tanks, and swimsuits. So that takes like very little room in your suitcase and on your carry-on. As far as like high heels, I only take like 2 pairs that can go with pretty much any outfit. But even then, it's like a long ways to walk in heels, so I don't wear them all the time, anyways. Then like in the evenings, I always take like a dress for every night, and those are just like really easy to pack and roll, and lightweight sundresses. I even have like 2 or 3 formal dresses that can roll easily and can fit in the suitcase, and you can wear those for like the formal nights.
Awesome. So super simple to pack everything. Make sure you pack your sunscreen as well as bug repellent. Not for the ship necessarily, but if you get off on some of the islands, there could be mosquitoes or stuff. You don't have to worry about that too much, but I bring some. Remember, if you're flying, it's not aerosol. You got to use the spray kind. That's not spray. That's the pump kind. I'm thinking about packing. Make sure, like I said, don't forget your passport or your birth certificate. So you need that to board along with your set sail pass. A couple things to know about the ship is, like, if you're going with friends, for example, we're going with all Team Beachbody coaches. We're filling a whole ship up with Beachbody coaches. And so we have a ton of friends on there. It's so hard to find each other and communicate on a ship unless you get like the internet package. It is a little bit expensive to have an internet package, but without it, it's nearly impossible. The only way to get a hold of somebody is to call their room. So you can call from one room to the other and leave voicemails.
And that's
Or
just to catch them like on the off chance if they're even in their room.
yeah, it would
during
be
that
like
time.
you probably won't catch them. You leave a voicemail and say, "Hey, we're gonna go to this show at 7 o'clock. Meet us there." Or I know some people sometimes put a little whiteboard or piece of paper on the door with tape, and you can leave notes for each other. But if you want to make it easier, I suggest getting the internet package, and then getting an app on your phone called Voxer. It's a walkie-talkie app where you can basically talk back and forth on a wireless connection, or you leave a voice message like you're a walkie-talkie, but it records it and they can see that, and then they can respond to it. I mean, that's the way on the boat you could 24/7 be in contact with people.
Or just get walkie-talkie.
Yeah, or of course if you have an iPhone, you have the internet. iPhone to iPhone, you can text on wireless as well. So those are some options. I highly suggest it if you really want to connect with people that you're going with, if you have a group that you're going with, and be able to stay in contact. So a lot of people ask or want to know, before we get into the activities of it real quick, another thing to know is when you're doing the pre-check-in, when you get this cell pass and your luggage tag is all printed out, one of the things, you can set up your online credit account. So that's something you can do prior. You put your credit card or your debit card information in, and then what they do, you don't use cash or a card or a credit card or debit card on the ship if you've never been on one. You have a room key, and that room key is also used for anything that you purchase. So if you're purchasing drinks like sodas or alcohol, you've got to use that card, your key card, and it goes onto an onboard account, which is tied to your credit card or debit card that you put. So avoid the lines of doing it on the ship and do it before, so you don't have to stand in line at the customer service. That's a huge thing. Another thing that has to do with money is like everything is free pretty much on the ship. Like there's ice cream, there's sandwich shops, pizza shops. There's a nice restaurant, like they serve lobster and steak and prime rib every night that you don't have to pay for. And there's usually on a ship one or two, maybe three restaurants that you do pay for. And we've never actually been to one of those, except one time when we went as Beachbody coaches on a free trip, top 10, and the CEO of the company took us. So we've been on 10 cruises. We never paid for a dinner. Like the dinners are phenomenal. So you can get whatever you want at those dinners. And they're delicious. So yeah, don't worry about paying for food.
5,
as far
6,
as that.
7 desserts.
Yeah, you can get as many things as you want too. If you want the steak and the lobster, you just tell them and they'll bring it to you. So while we're talking about the food and the dining, you have somebody that comes to your room every day and cleans your room, makes your bed. There's also, you have amazing wait staff and drink staff when you're at your dinners, and you don't tip them at the dinner. What happens is there's a prepaid amount that they separate out and divide amongst your servers, the host, your room cleaner, and everybody. But at the end, and that comes out of your onboard credit, and each ship has a different amount that they give. It's something usually between like $14 or $18 a day that's taken out for each person for tipping everybody. So that's not bad tip for all day long, right? For all your meals and you're cleaning your room. So if one of your servers went above and beyond, there's an envelope that they bring to your room at the last night. There's a couple envelopes. You can add extra tips via cash if you want to add extra. So with that being said, am I missing anything that I said we should talk about? We made this video before and missed like everything except how to pack your bag. So, if you've never been on a ship before, you don't know if you're going to be seasick, I guess is the word. We've never been like that. I would prepare anyway and bring some Dramamine, or there's some motion sickness patches you can put behind your ear, or bracelets. We've never had to use them, but I would bring it just in case. It's going to be much cheaper getting it at your Walgreens or Walmart than on the ship. The next thing to think about is, like, if you've never been on a ship before and you think it's going to be claustrophobic, it's like a city. So there's shops, you can go shopping, and that, of course, you can use your card for onboard credit. There's all kinds of fancy shops. We never shop on the boat, but there's all of that included with that. The ship is like a huge city, so you really don't even see the water unless you go out on the deck or by the pools and look out. You can't even tell the boat is moving if you're inside walking around. There's casinos, restaurants, food shops you can go to, ice cream places. It's like a little city. You're like in a little city. And you can't see that you're actually in the ocean until you go outside and look over and see that the water's flying past in the middle of the night. So that's what a ship is like for the most part. When you're cruising, when you get to the ports, if it's a 6 or 7 night, you're going to go to 2 or 3 ports. Make sure you take your card with you when you get off the boat. That's how you check off the boat. They scan it, and then you walk off the boat, and then they have a time that you have to be back on the boat. You got to scan it to get back on. That way they know everybody that got off got back on. And they usually give you, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours depending on which port it is. Make sure that you're back on time because we almost missed. We almost missed the boat once. We literally ran for like 7 miles. It was silly. It was like 7 years ago or something, but
on our defense, the boat looked way closer.
it looked closer. That's why we know the boat is huge. So it looks closer than it appears when you're on a beach. And it was like 7 miles away, and we thought it was like a mile. So get back to the boat on time. Ain't nobody got time to get left on an island somewhere. Although many times we'd like that, right? But you don't want to miss the boat. You don't want to hold people back. You don't want to hold the ship from getting back off. We're going on this boat. This entire boat is filled with people from Team Beachbody. That's all the people that are on the boat. No one else is allowed on this ship, Oasis of the Seas this time. Specifically on that, there's an app for our group of Team Beachbody coaches. Just search Success Club Cruise. SS Beachbody in the App Store. You're going to find the app, and that will show you a list of events of things we're doing on for Team Beachbody on the ship. But the ship's going to have the same things that it would have were it not a Beachbody cruise. And the last thing to mention, and this is like the 8th time I said the last thing, is there's so many activities. There's like Broadway type shows, productions, comedians,
bingo, games.
Yeah, newlywed games. All kinds of games and activities. You can watch people do ice carvings. I've seen like hairy chest contests at the pool. I've seen belly flop contests, water games, water sports, all kinds of things throughout the day. And the way to know and be in the action of what it is in your room every night. They're going to bring an itinerary for the next day. Tells you what the port is, what time you get out off the boat, what time you got to be back, and then a list. Like literally every 15 minutes, there's like an item of something you can go to on the ship to keep yourself busy and occupied. She loves to go to those things. I love to sit by the pool and nap and just hang out. So there's plenty to do. You're not going to be bored. There's going to be plenty of awesome people for you to meet on the boat as well. And we hope you enjoy your first cruise. See you guys later.